close look, it looks like it's actually made up of many silver lines. Pretty cool, huh? This reminds me of a common expression: every cloud has a silver lining. People use this saying to cheer up someone when something bad happens, and to tell them that maybe something good comes out of something bad. Let's take a look at what this is and also what it's not. Let's motivate this with an example. Say you have a friend named Steve. He started his own company, a food company, and he put a lot of work into this business. Unfortunately, one day he was fired from his job of running that food company. So he's really sad now, and you may be wondering what you can do to help. Well, first, you may want to give Steve the space to acknowledge and feel those sad emotions. You may recall experiencing similar emotions at some point in your life. Maybe you applied to a job that you really liked, but you didn't get it. Or tried out for a dance team and didn't make it into the team. So you may recall feeling sad, stressed, maybe even angry or scared because of the uncertainty of what your future will look like. At this point, it's important to acknowledge that it's okay to feel these emotions. And when your friend is going through that situation, it's also important to let them know it's okay for them to feel and express their emotions. In psychology, this is called emotional validation. There's also an alternative and somewhat instinctive urge to do something different, which is to try and fix things by telling your friend, look on the bright side. Or you should appreciate all the things that you have. Or maybe even saying, you're better off this way. Even if this is coming out of good intentions, the issue with saying these things is that it doesn't allow your friend to first feel their emotions and doesn't let you demonstrate that you acknowledge and see that your friend is going through a really difficult situation. In psychology, this is called toxic positivity, and that is attempting to get someone to think positive without first acknowledging the real negatives that they're going through. So there's a fine line. When you say every cloud has a silver lining, you also want to acknowledge that the cloud is there too, that something bad happened, and you want to give your friend that space to acknowledge that too. After that, you can start thinking about the silver lining part. So why is it that sometimes when people look back on a difficult situation, they actually think that situation turned out to be a good thing? Well, one reason is time. We all have a limited amount of time in a day to pursue a job, project, or hobby. Sometimes when you get turned down for a job or turned down for an opportunity to participate in a project, it means that you now have the time and energy to devote to some other job or some other hobby or project. Another reason why being rejected from your existing job or team could be a silver lining is a change in your environment. You may really like your current environment, the people and the projects, but if you're forced to step out of that environment, such as taking a new job or moving to a new city or join a new group of teammates, you may leave yourself open to new opportunities that exist in that different environment. A related saying is, when one door closes, another door opens. In economics, there's a related concept called opportunity cost. It says that the job you have now has a cost associated with it because it's the cost of not having the time and energy to devote to some other job or project. Let's hear from Steve in his own words as he looks back at that moment when he was fired from his own company. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. For some context, after Steve was fired from his own company, he went on to found other companies, one called Next, another called Pixar. When Next was acquired by his original company, Steve actually returned back to his original company, Apple. And that's Steve. Coming up next, you'll get to practice your plays that you can use checkbox. For this next set of videos, feel free to skip around and pick and choose which task